Author and executive editor of Loyola Press, Gary Jansen, joins us today on The Gist. Gary, thanks so much for being with us.
Hey, Rachel, thanks for having me on today.
All right, so we're going to talk about Ignatian Spirituality today, and so I would like for you to explain what it is. What is Ignatian Spirituality, and where does it come from?
Sure, yeah. So Ignatian Spirituality is the spirituality based on the writings and teachings of St. Ignatius of Loyola. And so St. Ignatius was a 16th century person, right, who lived in Spain, and he started his adult life as a soldier. And then he had what many call a cannonball moment, which was, we celebrate that 500th anniversary of that cannonball moment this year, where he was wounded in battle and then went off to go heal. And that's when he started his conversion to becoming the saint that he is today.
So Ignatian Spirituality, we talk about this, and I've read a little bit about it. I'm a big fan of Ignatian Spirituality, so I'm so excited that we're having this conversation. So basically, he was laying in the bed, if I recall. You know more than I do, I'm sure. And he was having a lot of thoughts about a girl that he liked, and he realized that when he thought certain thoughts, he felt a certain way, and then when he thought other thoughts, he felt another way. So he really leaned into feelings, which feelings get a bad rap, and yet Ignatian Spirituality is a lot about feelings, right?
Well, absolutely. I mean, I like to think of it as, a heartfulness spirituality. Like, there's a lot of talk today about mindfulness, and, when you're focusing on your mind, that's a great thing. But Ignatian Spirituality really does have like a heartfulness component, which means exactly what you said. It's focusing on how you're feeling, how the Spirit's moving through you. And you use those feelings in the process of discernment, which is essentially how do you make decisions. And so you pay attention to exactly what you had said before, when something makes you feel good versus when something makes you feel bad. And sometimes the things that make you feel good might not necessarily be the things that you expect, right? And vice versa. So you might be thinking of someone, maybe you're in a relationship, but when you have thoughts of that person, it kind of makes you feel ill, right? Not a good thing. And you should pay attention to those feelings. And so Ignatian Spirituality is a way of trying to understand how the importance of feelings and how they move throughout you.
And I think it's so important because what it does is it really seems to direct our feelings to the truest voice, which is the voice of God within us. Because, I think somebody might be listening to this and saying, well, cool, because I feel really good when I stay up late and I hit a lot of, whatever, name your thing that we think makes us feel good. But then it's that deeper level of, no, that's what you think makes you feel good, but how do you really feel? And really kind of getting in touch with the deeper feelings, in our soul.
Absolutely. And I think, part of that is trying to align your mind, right, with your heart. And, we can do that through, you do that through prayer, you do that through meditation, you do that through contemplation. But that is one of the most important things for all of us, right, is to kind of find that alignment where the mind is jiving with the heart and vice versa. And then when you're in that state, I feel like when you're experiencing that, you're experiencing a very godly state. You're experiencing a very sacred state. And again, I think one of the core principles of Ignatian Spirituality is developing awareness, right? And awareness changes your life, because something that you weren't aware of 10 minutes ago, you become aware of, can revolutionize the way that you act, the way you think, and the way you love.
Yeah, that's so good. All right, you wrote a book called Micro Shifts. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so Micro Shifts it's really a book about the tiny things you can do to improve your spiritual life. And I really like small things. I've always loved those small bottles of ketchup that you get at a hotel. I just think they're the cutest things in the world. So I like small things. And I also think that small things can lead to very, very big things. And I've always loved the image of the mustard seed, tiny little seed, planted, turns into this big plant. And so Micro Shifts is really I'm hoping it's a bunch of mustard seeds that I'm offering people to help create change and to draw people closer to God.
Nice. That's so exciting. All right, tell us about spiritual direction and its connection to Ignatian spirituality.
Sure. So spiritual direction is really, you become well, I don't necessarily say a mentor, but something like a mentor where you're there to guide someone in their own spiritual development. And so the best spiritual directors really, I think, I mean, they help to educate, but they're really there to listen. And they're really there to listen to what's going on in your life and maybe direct you to a reading. They may direct you to a certain type of prayer. They may not even direct you toward anything. They may just listen and allow you your own process of developing. And so I think it's definitely a balance, right? And so there's exchanges that go back and forth. But that idea of spiritual direction is, how can I gently lead someone closer to God? And so the best spiritual directors are not the ones that, push or coax, but the ones who gently lead people, closer to their own revelations.
I think that spiritual direction, it was a game changer for me when I got a spiritual director several years ago. And I think that a lot of people shy away from it because it sounds really scary and that you're going to get a lot of guilt heaped on you, or all you're going to come away with is just how bad you are. I'm always amazed at how my takeaway is actually how much God loves me and how much less complicated things are than I am making them. And then also getting in the habit of finding God in the midst of all of this. It's such a gift. Gary, tell us where people can learn more about you, your books, and the writings that you're working on.
Absolutely. So GaryJansen.com, that's my website. And, you should definitely check out LoyolaPress.com for All Works Ignatian. So if you're looking to celebrate the Ignatian year this year, there's a wealth of publications to check out.
Wonderful. Gary, thank you so much for being with us. Keep up all the good work. The Ignatian, discernment of spirits is such an important thing that so many people need to hear about. So I'm so grateful for you taking time with us today.
Thanks, Rachel. Take care. God bless.